I can't see anything, but I can certainly hear things moving around. Oh. There's a hallway through here. And that familiar pink glow seeping in through that giant skylight lets us know we're back. As if the pattern of the tile floor wasn't enough of a giveaway. I can't get through, though. Hello, everyone, and welcome back, once again, to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is VP04U Complex. And if that map title seems a little file-namey rather than an actual map title, well, that's because this is one of several maps that's been added to Pink Black's Void Places saga. They're actually included with other maps in that set, and they don't appear normally, leading me to believe that these are probably part of that physical connectivity that they're all going for, being able to physically walk between each of these maps. Now this one, I believe, is attached to White Complex, but who knows, we're quickly reaching the point where it's a whole set, a whole world that's been built in this game. Alright, well, if we can't get through here, then there must be something behind us, yes. Huh. A hallway just about identical to the one we just turned from. If there were a wall and a door here, we'd be standing in the exact same spot. Oh, it's not a skylight. It's actually just lights hanging overhead. Oh, I thought that was the leg and shoulder of something standing there. Warning, loop area, reset space link. Maybe we got trapped and how this is our only way out. Well, you know how it is with these maps, a whole lot of closed doors, and we gotta try all of them. We deserve this. Well, seems Jimmy is active in the area. That sky. Stars hanging above the pink fog that moves and ebbs and flows above us. It's as if that song introduces us to the world. We've never stepped really truly outside, at least not this quickly before. Just walking at ground level, it feels like we're not supposed to be here. But it definitely doesn't sound like we're alone. Like, maybe these tall fences are meant to keep something out rather than in. There's a door up there that's open next to that warning sign. Oh, and speaking of warning signs, there's another one over there. Maybe that can help us understand what's in the forest beyond the fence. Well, it tells us in no uncertain terms to stop. Presumably the skull means only death awaits. But that sign on the bottom is a bit more interesting. That sun that's not the sun, drawn with an eye. This is actually significant. That's the first time we've seen this thing somewhat personified. I mean, unless we take Inu as being the personification of it. But I always thought of her as more the space itself. This, more the thing. You know, we've never been sure how our character got here. We've heard those announcements that seemingly try to guide people who get lost here along. But maybe that is actually an entity that has somehow disrupted the order. Maybe that's why it's considered to be such a threat in these PSAs. Maybe we really can draw its ire by trying to move beyond the established realm. I mean, we have seen hints all throughout these maps, especially in White Complex, that these places were once inhabited or are inhabited in a way we can't understand. But that our presence and our inability to get back, that's actually an anomaly within the anomaly. But Jimmy and his door-kicking ways are back. Oh, wow. It's crazy to me. This map is supposed to be absolutely huge, and if this is our first glimpse, then I certainly believe it. To have this not even be a dedicated map on the workshop, but rather attached secretly to another one is insane. Oh, and there's 2 more, and the older ones have been revamped. This is locked, yeah. As before, we'll probably have to open these things in a certain order. Look at that cross just hanging in the darkness on the side of a building there. Opening doors is always good. Anything we can open. Huh. Look at you, just sitting in the light shafts falling through those windows. I wouldn't expect to see something like this here. More and more, ever since White Complex, I feel like we're reading much more intention in this. I mean, this straight up feels like a real space, like a hospital. Although, not quite when we really look at it. Look at that balcony with rooms beyond. I wonder if I can get through that door. That one's locked. Now these maps are always really, really confusing, partly because there's so many doors that cannot be opened. And so a lot of time gets spent just trying them all, and in turn forgetting which ones I can't use because, well, I can't use them. They don't stay open. Some of them do. I think I'm not even going to try and be methodical. That was the lesson that I learned last time. Let's just see where all this takes us. Ooh. I mean, that felt like a hospital right up until we came into here. Now it's like some grand theater. These bright red doors. It feels like something is significant behind each one. With the layout of this room, it almost makes them feel like a display of doors. But this one isn't even on its hinges, and that one is all in shadow. Nothing. I see that sun up there. That one really does have an eye. And it makes me wonder if that's Jimmy's impression of the sun, or if it represents ambition. Maybe a desire to replace or become the sun. Representation of the city. Look at that, those buildings just falling off into the shadows as if this area that we're in is the only piece that's actually explorable. As if everything beyond only partly exists. A big thing in these maps has always been that sort of power struggle that was apparent, even though it's entirely told through inference. It feels so wrong to see that whole dark city right beneath a blinding sun. But hey, maybe that shadowy area, maybe that's all Jimmy's doing. Void space ahead, anomalous area. Ooh. I get the feeling that something's going to happen when I cross through that checkpoint. In fact, didn't White Complex have similar checkpoints? Alright, well, let's see what Inu wants. I don't know why I feel so different after doing that. Oh, look, it's another one of those monitoring stations. Yes, and there is one of their anomalous area doorways. Yeah, once again, I am not sure if that just goes off anytime I walk through, or if there's something that's latched itself onto me, something that's been changed about me that means I can't go back. I mean, for all I know, every time I step through one of those things, it's activating some kind of protocol that prevents me from getting through the exit that was right around the corner previously. Wait, I've seen this. Hang on, no, I've seen this. This is White Complex! We've actually gone and walked all the way back to White Complex. After I fix that annoying VR bug where the player model completely screws up, but okay. Am I gonna be able to get back, or am I gonna have to reload that map? Okay, so what this is a way in and out. I'm gonna have to be real careful with these things from now on, because with all this connectivity, I've got to make sure I don't get that player model bug. It is a lot of work to fix this going between areas. God, look at that long waiting area. But a waiting area for what? The closest rooms are upstairs. It continues out into the hall. This place is floored in a zipper pattern. One floor is halfway between two others. Clearly marked exits at least. Can I please get some service around here? That echo. Ooh, there's a break room, which enables us to open that. Huh, maybe this is the show everyone's waiting for. This combination of like a theater and a hospital. But unfortunately, it's not ready to let us in yet. We can open through here. Opening doors is a huge part of any of these experiences. Hey, look, somewhat normal lighting. But a whole lot of glass. It's like this whole building is looking at itself through windows. Ooh, maybe this can get us through? There we go. We're just taking all these loops to let ourselves in. No signal. It's like the line for a ride at Universal Studios or something. I'll be honest, I didn't expect you to actually open. I gotta say, this map seems to be a lot more active in the soundscape department. I'm constantly hearing things shuffling or moving. It's like things are always just out of view, scurrying away when I round a corner. Others felt extremely dead and empty, but maybe at this point, the world has just given up that charade. No light in here except for the glow of the no signal screen. But in a place like this, it makes me wonder if there's something that's supposed to be there, or if that's just the reality emulation that this screen has decided to take on. If we were to need entertainment in this place, hopefully one of them can get that DVD logo that bounces off of the corner every time. Oh, Look at this. It's like a security area at an airport or something. But it contains another waiting area. It definitely gives the impression that whoever would be waiting here wasn't doing so willingly. Moonlit medical station. Not exactly moonlit, is it? But then again, maybe that represents a change in the space. That this was as devastating for them as it is for us getting trapped here. Nothing here. Okay, maybe we can swing around and open these doors for ourselves. There we go. There we go. So that's what that logo is up there. And look who's peeking in through either of these eye holes in the skylight. Did I just hear something? This is a really long hallway, but hey, at least we're moving against the direction of where something burst its way in, right? Just comes straight back to this area. Looks like something's been boarded off. God, look at those darkened windows towering over us. It's always so strange to me when the building is the darker feature against the night sky. But that purple sky contrasts it so nicely, makes this thing feel so malevolent and alive. Like it's some beast staring me down, daring me to enter. Oh, look, there's the wheelchair up in the window. Suppose we already have entered. Now, as these maps have gone on, I feel like we're getting more concrete answers as to what these things actually are. More plain text, more clear answers about what purpose some of these structures served, and it kind of makes it feel less SCP and more control. In the sense that it feels like we're walking more through a place that's been devastated by this event, rather than one that simply is the event. Earlier maps focused more on Inu and Jimmy, making it seem like we were in this insane parallel reality where these entities were pursuing us. Now it makes it seem like we're in the aftermath of some feeding frenzy that took place. All waiting in a square, but what goes in the center? Well, besides me. The curtain conceals something vivid. Another statue, this one holding up that cube-like object, kind of like the statues we saw in the square outside. Several of these maps have had these statues of hands holding something up. Maybe that's a hint at how this place works or its history? What is going on this way? I don't like the sound of that. Ooh. It's as if whatever this is contained. Like this is an observation window, because otherwise we'd be drawn toward it, and honestly, I can't say I wouldn't be curious walking into there. All I know is that everything seemed to hold its breath for a moment the second I stepped into this hallway. For a second, I thought I was backing up, when really I wasn't. It was just the room doing that. Look, all of this behind these curtains, as if it can be revealed to a public that can't even stand this close, but they definitely don't want it on display all the time. With all that's going on there, no wonder I feel so unsafe stepping into the staff-only area. That is wild. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! I can't see anything. No, of course not. Okay, I feel like I need to get out of here. But what's out here? It looks like there's some kind of flame burning. Maybe we can find some way to reach it? Why am I even trying to go there? Nothing may have happened to us in the end, but it definitely feels like we've been marked somehow. Okay, out and never go back. But at this point, does it even matter? I really just feel like that reached out and did something to me. I wonder if something similar isn't exactly how I ended up here in the first place, because look at this. We open that door and walk into the room, and it just looks so normal as we see it now. It's the door at the end that appears anomalous, but when we step back and view it through this glass, at least at first, we see that that entire space is wrong. We didn't have to go to the door. It already had us. Maybe the door that wasn't there before that brought us here in the first place was one such thing. Us not realizing that the hallway outside our room was already enough to grab us. God, that was a scare that actually warns you about itself beforehand, but it's your own curiosity that it punishes you for. And that was a brilliant sequence even leading up to it, because it doesn't start with you walking into the room, it doesn't start with you seeing it. It starts with you glancing it out of the corner of your eye and realizing that the ambiance completely changes, dims, as you step into the room. This back office looks like it's meant as a control for all this stuff. Maybe something like that as a patient, an entity that's malfunctioning. I mean, we haven't considered a hospital for what, for who? This is back to here. Okay. I'm not liking these cramped hallways. What are you waiting for? Is this thing physics? It is. Come on. Come on. It's only gonna let me grab it from the middle. If at all, no. I can't. Is there something that can be done? I feel like I've disrupted it, but yet this whole back area feels like some sort of containment. Yeah, never trust an exit sign. Didn't exactly have high hopes for that one. Everywhere you look, someone's waiting. But I suppose it's fitting. This whole world feels like it's waiting for something. Waiting for something that already came, and it just doesn't know it. This part feels more like a hotel than a hospital. I can't shake the thought that someone watched me walk by. Oh, look at this. It's like a cabin resort. With an actual fire burning in the fireplace. Although I look down and see those pixelated embers rising up. I wonder, if I were actually able to feel this right now, does it give off heat? I know that the glow of this is actually oddly comforting. Look at that, it's the contrast of the orange fire and the blue light emitted from this screen. Giving this whole place an unnatural purple-pink glow, not unlike the one being cast down from the sky. Or from within that window. Look at this place. There's some wooden structures off in the woods there behind the fence. Structures that we ourselves can't actually reach. But those warning signs are nevertheless present. That wind sounds awfully malevolent today. And it's weird because I've pretty much abandoned the emulation theory of these maps so far, the idea that all of this is taking snippets of our reality and twisting it into something new without understanding what any of it does. Because we have plain text, we have things that are consistent, we have those storage areas in the back and places with computers. All of this feels like it does have a purpose, just one beyond our comprehension. But then there's stuff like this that stretches even that. Like how this is a winter cabin, but we step outside and immediately we're standing under urban apartment buildings. What's going on in this cabin over here? Not a real door. And that's the thing. These doors aren't locked. They're not real. There's a major distinction being drawn there. Alright, well, I opened that door a second ago while I was trying to get my bearings. But I'm thinking we take this way out. Why do I get the impression of someone walking silently alongside me in the dark area? But I'm pretty sure through here should be, yes, where we started, so back onto the square. I have no idea how large this map is in total compared to the other ones, but there's certainly a grand sense of scale to this, and it's because it's so much more outdoor focused. It's got larger spaces, and it's certainly got more for us to look at in the distance. Yeah, it definitely feels like we're being moved through a security checkpoint. complete with whatever strange scanner passing over me. I'm supposed to be here. Businessing my business. I'll have those reports for you by Monday, and we can synergize our opportunities. Okay, this is back to here, which makes up a huge portion of the language in these videos. You know, when I was a kid, I would always get scared watching The Wizard of Oz in the part where they're all huddled together walking down the hallway to go see the wizard for the first time. This feels a lot like that, which is why I'm stepping off for a moment. Ooh, what kind of artwork gets hung up in the void place? Huh. A destroyed car in the road, indicating post-apocalyptic, but the lights are still on and there's just a huge wall, almost like a quarantine wall in the center. What if it's not the whole world? What if what we're in is only something that's been segmented off? The fact that no one's come to help us suggests otherwise, but we can always hold out hope, right? I've got to say, seeing something that feels relatively normal right down to the lighting is a breath of fresh air. I almost feel like I want to just kind of rest my hands on the counter for a while, head down, breathing deeply, thinking that I'm going to close my eyes, and when I turn around, I'll be standing in my normal kitchen. Just think of everything our character has been through, all the maps we've explored. It's got to be like 6 or 7 total hours now, right? But never any such luck. God, this place feels cozy. This is like how I used to build stuff in The Sims. But, alright. We've got to move on. Got to find out what's at the end of that green hallway. Even more artwork. This is how the void place speaks to us. We have to learn to listen. Look at that. A two-sided flower sharing a stem. One yellow, the other pink. Maybe you could see this as like a mirror of our world. The yellow representing our sun. Distorted, melting faces. Some of these I recognize, but I really have to wonder if that's not what the inhabitants that once sat at this very table looked like. With those images in my head, I can't help but imagine those faces staring down at me from the windows. No, seriously, I am not going to be able to shake that thought. Thanks for planting ideas in my head, Matt. Another wheelchair. What's the name for a phobia of wide open spaces like this? Oh, right. VPU complex. God, that drop ceiling is very deep. Which means just about anything could be up there. Look, it's like something in a wheelchair just stopped here and decided it likes it better in the ceiling. Because one of the only things worse than walking into a space and finding something there is it being exceptionally clear that something was there. back to here. Yes, we've been here before, right? Ooh, what is this? Maybe I shouldn't have gone straight to that syringe full of pink. Well, I'll keep in mind that this is here. Maybe it's important. Still, it's hard to tell if we've been here before. It's like a hospital, but with no actual patient rooms, only waiting areas. I stand corrected. Yep, there's another. Is pink the cure, or is it the disease? And more importantly, is that something that comes before or after? Either way, we've reoriented ourselves. We're back to the statue. And look, curtains with those pictures of blue skies. This is something that's always seemingly been a source of comfort, something that's meant to make a space feel more lively, and, well, part of it makes me wonder, since all these signs are in English, since we've heard those recorded announcements... Hang on, I'm doing a big brain blast right now. Is it possible that this alternate world is populated entirely by people who ended up here the same way I did? All in all, it's weird how the more we learn about this place, the more human it starts to feel. This is more like some kind of reverse observation window. Some kind of operating theater. I'm finding that as time goes on, I'm having less and less to actually say about these maps that I haven't already said before, and that it's better just to kind of let them speak for themselves. Excuse me? Yeah, no, you're constantly giving me the impression that something else is here. The soundscapes made me feel that way at first, and now you're confirming it everywhere I go. Let's just pop open every door we can. All roads lead right back here. Wait, we haven't been through these doors over here, have we? That's a car. Wait! Is that a person? Oh no, okay, that's a yellow bollard. I thought there was actually a person's head poking up from behind the car. That's a vehicle. There's nothing emulated about this. This is just a society that we're walking through the remnants of. And that thing always seems to frame itself up just perfectly, doesn't it? No matter where I'm looking. That just goes to show to me, like, this was some kind of quiet crisis. The PSAs, all the systems set up, trying to contain it. What we're looking at is a reality failure, a containment failure for reality. And maybe we were part of it. I mean, they clearly had a procedure for dealing with people who ended up here just to send them back on their way. I don't know if we're coming in on the aftermath of whatever happened, or if us coming here somehow caused it. All we know is that following the advice we've been given, the standard procedure just hasn't worked at all, suggesting that even though this place is so strange to us, we've had to slowly adapt and understand the fact that even for here, none of this is normal. Oh, we haven't tried coming back through the winter cabin. Oh. Well, I guess we have at some point. A cozy little bedroom with a strange door in the back. A strange door that's been sealed off. Almost as if guests complained and the staff were like, oh, we'll seal that hole in reality right up for you. Locked. Okay, so now what? Well, there's a staircase right here. Ooh, maybe we actually can get in yet. Nope. Absolutely not, but I don't like the sounds that are coming from that apartment over there. We can actually try these grates. You're telling me no. Everyone is gone. Jimmy, I'm starting to think you're not one of the causes of this disaster. You're a survivor of it. I don't know if that means that the inhabitants of this world were all like you, or if this is something that's been done to you. But either way, maybe that's why you hide in the darkness. Out of the sight of the sun, where else? Which makes me wonder if these markings aren't something that is done by Inu. I mean, well, look, we've seen Jimmy as a physical manifestation, literally as a creature appearing in windows and even crawling on walls. But Inu, she always appears in a more abstract form, speaking through loudspeakers, if anything personified as art on the wall or as a cardboard cutout. But this may be an interaction between you, suggesting that maybe there is some physical form somewhere, if that physical form isn't just the sun. Well, maybe if we follow in your footsteps, there's an alliance to be formed? Even then, though, it may not be as simple as some entity that just arrives and consumes everything. We don't know why everyone is gone, what the danger is. The only thing we have from Inu is simply the fact that she didn't want us to leave the mall. Back to here. We haven't checked out this door here. We also haven't been behind it then. Oh, we are not done, not by far. There's like squeaks on the soundtrack that sound like gurney wheels rolling up and down the halls. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. Just back around to here. Okay, that's the kind of thing I really didn't expect to end that well. Speaking of, I haven't actually looked at this computer screen yet. There's nothing to be read, but nothing needs to be read. It says everything I need to know. Mine. Signed the Sun. Like, it's so cool how these maps are able to assign value, able to induce feelings of ease or dread simply by the presence of a color in some form or another. Here we are. Maybe something was watching us as we were down there. Something that came out of that darkened hallway. I mean, what do you call this, though? I just realized I've been holding my breath because everything suddenly became a whole lot more narrow, and it's like I could smell the walls and the carpet. I don't know why it makes me so uncomfortable, but every space that's looked like this in these maps has always been this way. 2 different ways we can go, down or across the catwalk. Okay, we're back out to here. Alright, catwalk it is then. It's so unassuming, but something about this area in particular has me so on edge, especially looking backward into the darkness. Now that could be a classic liminal space image. Alright, let's make our way across the catwalk. This goes over this room. Dark spaces with red emergency lights. That seems to be where Jimmy mostly hangs out. That and just in total shadows. Wait, where are we? Oh, this is this door. I guess we were on that path to begin with. Oh, man, every new path I open up in these maps, it feels like I'm going off on a different dark dream that takes me deeper and deeper until I don't even remember how it started. And it comes as that much more of a shock when I finally come out on the other end and realize that, no, it hasn't even actually been all that long. You haven't actually gone all that far. It's just every path is a rabbit hole. Nothing here, nothing here. Okay, fine. Going back to this cursed place, because I figure there's got to be something to do with it, right? Yes! Yes, I could have sworn I've tried this like 2 or 3 times before, but yes! You know what? This feels safety clock worthy. Yes, thank you. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, but what, you're gonna clam up now as I'm passing by? It's a choice, pink or black. From what I've seen, I think black. You're leaking again. There's a void space ahead. Is it safe to say at this point that you're the one that's been behind these TVs that we've been finding? It's these doors back to the winter cabin. You know, I'm actually starting to think I reached the right conclusion. I think Jimmy is starting to try and communicate with me. And I think it actually is in our best interest to answer. Spent so long. Whoops, I didn't mean to pull the trigger there, but my finger hit the wall. Look at you, playing those sounds above an overhang that I have to expose myself to see over. Putting me in a situation where I'm afraid to poke my head out. Oh my! Oh my god! Okay, forget this. No, forget this. Forget this. That goes back to some place we've already been. You had like wild pink hair! I'm sorry I left you at the mall. Can we start over? You know what? Fine. Fine by me. Let's go. Deja vu? Wait. I've been in this place before. Okay, now's not the time for jokes. Let's go. Oh my god. Man, what an exit. What a way out. I have no idea where this thing brought me. Blood oozing from a TV screen. But it's almost like you ran out ahead of me. That was a pink mass on a black body. In other words, it actually looks just like the graffiti we saw in the wall in the Everyone Was Gone room. Alright, I have no idea if this is something I've seen before. It looks familiar. Yes, it does. It chased me all the way back out to Void Places. These maps have so much like cross-connectivity. It's not just a linear thing. There are multiple points of connection where you can end up taking these maps in numerous orders. Now I'm told that this map and several others have changed. So far, it all looks the same, but I suppose it couldn't hurt to have a quick look around, right? I don't believe it. You know, this wasn't the first map by this creator, not even the first one I'd played. But this was, I believe, the first of this new saga of interconnected maps. And, well, to be run back here after all that, and now with all the knowledge of everything that's happened after, it definitely just feels different. I remember at first approaching this as just a slightly more stylized liminal space map, but it's really grown into its own thing. Not only having its own rules and logic, but also incorporating all this music and style for how it all fits together, and just storytelling in the way it's communicated to us, how so much is left up to inference. And yet it doesn't feel like it's not giving us anything, it's just that all that it gives us is so up to interpretation. Oh, right. I had forgotten that part of that style is to tempt us with things we can't ever have. Yeah, these vending machines, they were significant in the beginning. Of course, back then it was just a puzzle to solve to advance the game, but later on we learned that these things were actually under observation, that they may have other properties we don't even know about. And that's the thing with these maps, is that it just imparts so much meaning on such simple things. And so it's able to tell its story through a series of shorthands as simple as a room being a color or an object being present or not present. That's a 1. I miss the old sun. Well, that does look like Jimmy text, sort of. Maybe what we're seeing is their actual progression, their degradation. Maybe that's what we'll become if we stay here for too long. I truly just can't remember what was and wasn't here before, but look at this. The lighting, the darkness outside those windows, the scale of this. It's like a childhood memory of getting out of our room when we weren't supposed to and creeping into the dining room. There she is. And once again, I can't remember if this was here before or not. I imagine that these maps have been updated mainly with connectivity and lore references that have been established since. Which means that the order that you take these maps in actually matters. You can start wherever, sure, but it's going to change the way that the story is told to you. And that's really interesting because what's a development for one player might be foreshadowing for another. This is just so cool. This has taken on entirely new meaning to me now. Yeah, look, rediscover humanity. Okay, I don't think this was here before. That is White Complex. And rediscover humanity, that's gotta mean, that lends credence to the idea that this is actually a colony of humans that found themselves here. Which makes it even crazier because maybe they found this place as it is and just learned to live within it. In that case, maybe the idea that these were humans and emulation theory can coexist together? I don't know why the science here is so exciting to me, but it really is, and that's an achievement. Still though, imagine the absolute horror you'd feel going through everything we've been through in these maps, running away from the most terrifying threat yet, and ending up right back at the very beginning where we started, chasing familiarity throughout this entire space, and suddenly the worst despair we felt is when we get it. Imagine for a moment that we instead escaped that terror into this, the next map, VP White Corridors. And the very first thing that stands out to me about this one, there's no sound at all. No wind, no hum. Not even a strange soundtrack to greet us. God, I am still haunted by that echoing piano melody over the tops of those darkened buildings. But this, it's like green grass just rolling over like a lobby. Windows looking down as if it's the courtyard to some retirement home or something. Well, we can have a look inside at the eternally blue screening computers. Oh, and the impossible to get through gap. That's actually the exit to this whole nightmare. It's simply impossible to get through. Never mind. There's the ambiance. Is it welcome? Actually, kinda yes. Look at this, it's just windows upon windows. And I'm not just talking about the blue screens. And yet, ventilation, big, ugly infrastructure just following right along the hallways. A sandbox. Wait a minute, I see this, and I can't help but think of that one room with the wooden chair looking down at that, like, sandy-looking rectangle. Huh, I wonder if these things are actually related. It was like a miniaturized version of this. Huh. A void area that is actually open. No catch or anything. Okay. We'll save that for later. That's got to be an area of connectivity. Man, this whole project is just so cool. And the fact that this is one of the hidden maps makes me think that it's not one of the main stage ones, like one where there's not going to be as much scripting, it's really just area, but then again, I could have said the same for the area we were just in, and it gave us our biggest scare yet. And that's saying something. I still get jitters every time I replay the memory of Jimmy crawling along the wall outside that window. It really does just feel like a retirement home, like I can feel the dampness settling into these stone tiles. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it's a maze of cubicles. My mom used to work in a place like this. I was brought there a few times. Spent some time wandering, and yeah, this is like the nightmare version of that. Which is saying something, because at the time I thought that was the nightmare version of that. The fact that there isn't as much to hear here is actually causing me some anxiety. Like, I keep thinking that any moment I'll see a shadowy figure stoop down behind one of these barriers, hear the scrape of a footstep behind one of them. No. I mean, I could probably climb up on one of these desks and jump over, right? But where's the fun in that? I'm also trying to see as much as I can. Some of these screens are just completely out. I mean, I wonder if this isn't the abandoned workstation of some of those who were tasked with monitoring and controlling anomalies. Huh. No, I wouldn't think so. Look at how high that ceiling is. I can hear something over on the right. I think we found something. Trapped inside this entire time, and now a clear as day view of the night. What are you? Look at those buildings over there. For as segmented as these areas are, I do get the impression that it all exists in some kind of space. Wait, this TV... It's actually connected to this station. Wait, are you a switch? No, you're off for good. There's a strange sound emanating from the pillar. Are these things maybe acting as some kind of suppressant for it? Something to keep it locked in place, something which we have now disabled? Wait, all those images of blue skies, this is the first time we've actually seen a depiction of pink ones. But why? This is something... I have a feeling whatever this thing is critical to what's going on here. And I might have just screwed things up royally. Is this where we came through before? I think it is. Oh, look at those cities, knowing that inside each of those buildings is something as complex as this, and probably just as dark and lonely. It really is just like a bad dream you don't wake up from. A nightmare that just keeps on going. Look at the way these red lights just cut across the hall. There's areas up there. Everything seems to work around that office as the central point. But what if we see what's around the corner? Now this is something of a different perspective. I keep swearing I see movement. There's some windows over there above the entrance. See, these maps are actually capturing a big part of what makes liminal spaces scary, even if they're going a very different direction with it. And that's the length of time, the hopelessness of being stuck in this experience that just never seems to end. Because that's the thing, it's not that any particular part of it is all that bad in the moment, well, except for that chase we just ran away from. It's the uncertainty. It's the not knowing if we're ever gonna be out of this again. We start to feel like we've always been here, and that thought scares us, because it makes it seem like there truly is nothing else anymore. In this situation, one of the first things I'd be doing is bending leaves on that plant to find out if it's real. Honestly, that's been a bit of a theme of observation with liminal space maps lately, but I feel like you can learn a lot from the plants in them. A whole lot of doors that do not open, though. And an indication that a familiar friend has been through here. Yeah, okay, we've pretty much made a complete loop around. Red exit sign above this doorway in the pillar room. With the familiar walls and carpeting. Back to here. This is the hub, that hallway, and all around it. Oh, here we are. Yeah, I'm now thinking it may be possible to get through these cubicles, open these doors, and maybe figure something out from there. Yeah, if we make this turn, look at that. You rearranged all of this just so you could have a cozy little sitting area beneath the exit sign's glow. Honestly, I appreciate the effort. Strange little brick room in between. One that doesn't really reveal anything new to us. Oh hey, these stairs lead upstairs. Ooh, an observation window. You know, there's something I'll always find really creepy about all the security constructed around an object that seemingly poses no threat. Horror through implication, that's what I like. Oh, we can actually look down on the hallway from here. I really feel like we've screwed up by turning off that TV. I feel like we screwed up by turning them off in the maps that required us to do so. I mean, maybe that's what enabled the energy to move on from those areas, but again, what if we're the agent that's assisting in the destruction of this reality inadvertently? Either way... Oh my god! What is that? I can't even... Hang on, wait. Can we get to it? Can we get to it? It's a long way. Yeah, no. That's not just something that I was mistaking. There was something here. Oh god, there was something here. Oh my god. It also didn't look like any of the shapes we've seen before. It was like huge, and it was wide towards the top. Okay, go. I'll show no-clip runs of each of these maps at the end. But for now, I think we've seen about all there is to see. And it's time for us to leave. It was down this hall, right? No. Not this way, no. God, it's literally like the most minor thing, but for some reason, the shape of it has just set me off so much. Right this way. Wonder where we'll end up. Huh. I guess all roads lead back to void places. Or at least the ones that come packaged with it do. Only ever a temporary escape until we make the real escape. And once more that music leaves us, and it's just us and the wind. You know, I haven't talked about it enough, but I am a huge fan of those soundtracks. I'm pretty sure most or all of them are made by Thunder Ghost, and they are just fantastic. I mean, there are so many emotions packed into them. On the one hand, it's almost like we're being greeted. There's a sort of nostalgic, dreamy jazziness to it that all at once captures the isolation and the vastness of these spaces, even while it emphasizes the detached, sleepwalking-like state that we wander these maps in. It nonetheless doesn't feel like it's empty or devoid of life. No, it actually feels like there is very much intention to it. There's a harshness to it that almost feels like we're being taunted as we're welcomed into a new area. I guess a sort of backhanded serenade as we enter. But there is still one more map to check out, and I am not leaving until we do. Whoa. Oh my god. Oh. Is this what happens when we anger the sun? Look. Oh, look, it's bigger and brighter in the sky than ever! Look at those structures! What is that? What is that? Another cutout. It's as if it entered the space in the same way we did, and I don't have any way of knowing how we actually would get here, but it feels like, wasn't there a void area in one of the maps, maybe White Complex, maybe another, where a floor would vanish and reveal a pit to nowhere? I would bet that this is where it comes out now. This map is titled simply Other Side. No VP, no other prefix, just Other Side. Ooh. Oh my god. And this one feels quite a bit angrier than the others. This feels like we have been seen. And now some wrath is being unleashed on us. The sun may be there, but there is no sky above, no pink clouds, no nothing. But a world that's misshapen even by these standards. And only one way out. Why, Jimmy, you've spent quite a bit of time here, haven't you? Look. You've constructed an image of a happy home, even though it's all bare, like a storage room that was never completed. You painted yourself a happy town, a window you can look out at the dinner table. Even some friends or family to occupy the place, huh? Maybe you've been trying to get us to end up here. Or maybe you're among the first of the punished. Oh my god. Oh, I thought this was going to be like a drop ceiling onto another room, but nope. Straight into the abyss. Actually, it's a pit of that black sand that you leave everywhere when you start leaking. Look at this. I really think this is where you live. And you've had a lot of time to think, haven't you? I really didn't know what to expect when I turned around. I don't know, again, if this is something that gets done to your markings, or if you do view this as some kind of uplifting piece. There are two different kinds of voids here, and, well, you know which one you want to avoid. Always just out of reach, but we know by now that it's not real anyway. Maybe this is like your real TV, you just come here for comfort. Again, I don't know what I expected, but I don't really consider the word impossible anymore. Locked. Is that a malfunction, or is it the true world bleeding through? I mean, after that static hallway, we know that whatever that eye is likes to tempt us. You know, since we've never actually been able to get at that stuff, I'm starting to think, yeah, maybe the blue sky is an actual real glimpse back into our reality. Something that's always kept just out of our reach, a constant fight to keep us here. I don't know why seeing myself unnerves me so, but it definitely does. Is there any way I can drop down there? It would be a tough angle either way. Hang on. Can we at least get a better look then? I don't think there's much else to see, but that static, we've now seen it more than once, and in piles like that, it too is able to bleed through. Possibly yet another competing entity? This comes back to here. But what else is there to know? We actually can't go back. Maybe this is Jimmy's way of protecting us. Look at this. You even painted on the tiled kitchen floor. But even your made-up fantasy world couldn't escape being consumed. We've uncovered something huge here. I just wish I knew how to get out of it, because this seems kind of like the end of the road. I thought that was a new area at first. No, I can't figure out a way out of here. Yeah, that one is broken as well. So now it seems like I'm trapped here. Like there's nothing more I can do. I can't even fall through if I wanted. Maybe this was Jimmy's prison. But we're just the latest occupant. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Like, you didn't want to accept this reality? Well, here's something resembling your own. Enjoy. Forever. But again, all I can do is speculate. Maybe we'll end up as another of these mannequins. Maybe they were always people who came before. That static, that laughing figure that chased us out of there, this place, and that strange obelisk that was contained in that area. I feel like we've been given so much new imagery to work off of, and yet all of it's so abstract that there's just so many different ways to read it. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this, because I'm at a loss. Although I do have ideas, certainly. Alright, I'm going to do my outro now, but first I think a no-clip run is in order. So let's pop out of here. And yes, I'm not missing something. It seems that this whole space is indeed much smaller than the rest. Now for white corridors. This one also not nearly as big by the standards of pink-black maps, but nevertheless very, very complicated when you're down in it. This thing right here. I swear, before turning off the TV, I can almost hear, like, chanting in that grinding sound. And finally, the place where we started this video. Feels like a lifetime ago. Yep. Even flying all the way up here, we still can't escape the bounds of the map itself. Just look at all this, all one, well, big complex for us to wander in. There's the static hallway, the outdoors. Ooh. And the fire burning beyond. This one definitely had an emphasis on larger, more detailed rooms, rather than a series of smaller, complex hallways and doors that had to be unlocked. I mean, this also had plenty of that, but here it was much more about the spaces themselves. And each of these maps has had their major set pieces, but here it was like everywhere you went just felt big, you know? Even the spaces like this. It also really caught me off guard by having way more complex scares than before, with that actual chase at the end, or at least it certainly felt like one, as well as whatever was going on in this hallway over here. But all I know is that was such a deep sense of dread, everything about this hallway, and those piles of static on the other map lead me to believe that we actually haven't seen the last of whatever that is. God, with the simple addition of a bare room, a mirror, and some pink flashing lights overhead, somehow this feels like a whole other level darker than anything else we've encountered. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try these maps out for yourself, remember you have to subscribe to GM Void Places on the workshop, which will be linked in the description, and then you have to go into your Garry's Mod map menu and select these manually. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.